Man, what y'all waiting on? Y'all need to go ahead and subscribe to the channel.
Shalom to everybody. Happy Sabbath. I'm glad to be in the building.
We in this building.
Yeah. So we got a lesson. It's going to talk a little bit about marriage, a little bit about hypocrisy, and different things like that. And what we have to do as men, as leaders, which I saw Deacon brought out some stuff earlier. So the name of the class is My Lord at the house. I mean at the school, and My Nigga at the house. Because we see it on both sides. We see the brothers that's, act like lords here at the school, but at the house they Negroes. And then we see brothers trying to get right, and their wives is like, oh, my Lord, my Lord. But when they get at home, my nigga. Y'all know, so we see it on both ends. But look, we got to convert, and we got to become that righteous nature. We can't be hypocrites. We can't act one way here at the school, and then when we get back at the house, it's a whole different character. We can't do that. So I want to start out, I guess we could start out with the video. Video number 1. Let's get that real quick.
My son first, my father, then my husband.
Who you putting first, your son, your father, or your husband?
My son. I'm putting my son first, my father, then my husband.
My son, and then my daddy, and then my husband.
My son. And then who?
My father, then my husband.
Why the husband last? Let me know something.
Because regardless if me and him together or not, my daddy and my son gonna be there, so fuck it.
Son, husband, or my son, my husband, then my daddy.
My son, my father, and my husband, yeah.
Why y'all put husband last? Let me know something.
I love my daddy and I love my son. I can't.
I birthed my son, why would he be first? And my daddy, like, that's my daddy, come on. You my husband. Husband, son, father. I feel like if I get married, my husband is supposed to be like the head of the house. That's supposed to be, the leader or whatever.
Hey, so you see where we building from. Understand the mindset, but you see the majority of the mindset was what? The husband is last. The Negro is not the Lord, he's the nigga. That's what we saw right there in the video, and that's real, that's a real life example of how we're thought of as men. But I want to go off script, so I didn't have this down. But I want to get Deuteronomy 7:6 real quick, because this is one thing that we got to remember,
Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
So the Israelites are made as a people to be better than everybody else. So you got to think about it, is the man is the leader. He is the best in the world. There's nobody better than the black, Hispanic, or so-called Native American man. That's what it is. But you see that how society has the mindset that we are in last place. Even among our own people, they ask the sisters, like, the husband is last. You understand that? So that's the mindset that a lot of our sisters, unfortunately, they come in the body with. And even a lot of brothers, they're raised up thinking that they're beneath, that they're last. So let's go to 2nd Esdras 14 and 13. I want to get that real quick.
2nd Esdras chapter 14 and verse 13. Now therefore set thine house in order, and reprove thy people. Comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption.
So now you see the order there. It says, set your house in order, then go out and correct your people. But it's a step before that. What do you got to do before you can set your house in order? You got to get yourself in order. So the first thing, the first step is to get yourself in order, because a lot of times when people come in for counsel, probably the most, I would say by far the most counsels that we have deal with marriage. And the one thing that we always tell brothers, especially like newer brothers coming in, make sure that you're blameless at your house. Because a lot of our sisters lack accountability. And what they'll do is if you got one flaw and you try to correct them on something, well, what about you? You were doing this and you were doing that. And override what they're doing. So you can't correct nobody if you're off. So if you're at the house smoking weed or doing whatever, you can't bring out no correction. You understand? If you got a sister that's not righteous, if you got a righteous sister, she's going to help you to overcome, whatever fault you got. That's what a righteous sister's supposed to do, is try to win you over. But if you're both are unrighteous, so we get the next scripture. Let me get that. You're going to be in trouble right off the break. So a lot of marriage counsels that we do, this is what we run into. Get that Sirach 26 and 23.
Sirach chapter 26, verse 23. A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man.
So you see that? So if you not together yourself, and then what happens? A lot of times brothers get put up in counsel, and they say the woman is wicked. I'm like, okay. The wicked woman. Read that again.
A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man.
So that means you wicked, because I'm going to tell you something. If you're a righteous brother, only one or two things can happen. Either the sister's going to follow your lead or the sister's going to leave. She's not going to stick around. If you're a righteous brother and she don't want to get her mind right, eventually she's going to leave. They might hang in there for a while thinking it's a fad or whatever. He going to go back to Tyrone after a while. They just waiting for Tyrone to transition back. But when they see you not transitioning back, a lot of times the sisters will leave. Or if a sister really love you, she going to follow you wherever you go. So if you come into the school and you trying to get your mind right, she going to say, I really love that man. I'm going to come there and I'm going to do what I got to do to keep him at the house. You understand that? That's how you going to find out if a sister really love you or not. Is she going to follow you wherever you go? If you're in righteousness, is she going to follow you there, or is she going to bail out? Because if she bail out, she don't love you anyway. You ain't losing nothing. You understand that? Go to video number 2.
One issue a man will tell me in therapy.
No video.
The number one issue a man will tell me in therapy, I hear every single week, is Sean, my wife, my lady, my girl, my fiance doesn't respect me as a man. The oxygen that your man needs from you, respect and admiration. She emasculates me. She doesn't follow my leadership. She speaks to me like one of the children. She's independent. I'm no longer admired. She doesn't spend time with me. I say something about how the house looks. She gets mad. And ladies, I need y'all to hear me. It is hard for a man to deeply love a woman who doesn't respect her. I know you want love and you deserve love. And yes, love should be unconditional, but respect should be unconditional too.
So as you can see, it's a common issue. We've been so destroyed and, through all of these, through this captivity in the United States, and the image of the black man has been so destroyed that we don't get any respect from anybody, whether it be our own people or the other nations. We've been completely destroyed, and that's a big reason why they don't want to show us actually rising back up and recovering ourselves. When we have the large marches or when we're doing these positive things in the community, they don't want to spotlight that. They want to keep us at that low state. They don't want our sisters to see us as leaders or as protectors or providers, because then they lose control of the sisters. A lot of our sisters have been deceived thinking that the white man somehow is looking out for them by empowering them. But if you really think about it, who has he empowered them over? Has he empowered them over himself? No, he's empowered them over us. So they're not empowered. They're still under a man. They're just under the white man, but they've been empowered over the husbands. So if you notice, a lot of things that's done is, like, when you look at a lot of our major cities, who do they put in charge? When you look at a lot of your leadership positions at different jobs, who they put in charge? They put the black woman in charge. That's everywhere. And a lot of our sisters think that is they're actually helping them out. They're not doing that. That's strategic, you know what I want to say. But it's a strategy that what they want to do is keep the brothers down and have the sisters look at us as we're not something, we can't protect, we can't provide, we can't do anything. So this is a strategy that our sisters got to see. They got to understand that these people are not here to help us. Everything that they've done is to destroy us. So read Sirach 26 and 23 one more time. This is why it's important, brothers, that we get ourselves together first. So when you come into this truth, you got to make sure that you do everything you can to get yourself built up. Read that.
Sirach chapter 26, verse 23. A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man, but a godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord.
So that works both ways also. Go to Sirach 13, 15 through 19. Because this is what we got to understand first. We got to get ourselves together. Whether we be a sister or a brother, we got to get ourselves together. We want a righteous brother or we want a righteous sister, we got to become righteous. Read that.
Sirach chapter 13, verse 15. Every beast loveth his like, and every man loveth his neighbor.
Read.
All flesh consorteth according to kind, and a man will cleave to his like.
You see that? It says a man will cleave to his like. Read.
What fellowship hath the wolf with the lamb?
How many of y'all ever seen a wolf chilling with a lamb? Anybody seen that? You ain't going to see that. Read.
So the sinner with the godly.
You see that? The sinner is not going to stick around the godly. If you, as a brother or sister, because I hear sisters, I know that we got some unrighteous brothers. If you really believe your man is unrighteous, if you keep keeping the commandments, he's going to either change or he's going to leave. It's just one or two things. Same thing with the brothers. If you want to know if a sister's going to get her mind right, you make sure that you get yourself right, keep the commandments, and only one or two things is going to happen. You understand? We got an example of that with Abigail. What happened? The Lord removed them, killed them. Abigail was a righteous sister. Keep reading.
What agreement is there between the hyena and a dog? And what peace between the rich and the poor?
Read.
As the wild ass is the lion's prey in the wilderness, so the rich eat up the poor.
You see that? So it's letting you know that you got to be on the same page. Otherwise, you're not going to work together. It'll be the same way a sheep and a wolf is not going to be able to coexist. That ain't going to happen. You understand that? The righteous and a sinner is not going to be able to coexist. That's why a lot of times when we come into this truth, even though you might not even do anything, a lot of your family are just separated. They'll be like, I can't go around him because what? They're going to have conversations, or even like we had the family fun day, not this past one, but like it was the one before where we were at Sandy Point. It was a family there, like right next to us. We never said nothing to them, but because of the way that our sisters was dressed and how their sisters were dressed, they got irritated and left. They got mad and left. A lot of people didn't even pay attention to that because we were ruining their fun because just the way that we were conducting ourselves, they was on some other stuff. But I guarantee you, if everybody out there was ratchet and all of that, they wouldn't have no problem, sticking around. But a lot of times you got to really pay attention to people. When you start coming into the truth, and all, the buddies you might have smoked weed with, or some of the sisters, when y'all get around and y'all got your modest dresses on, and then you see you might run into a girlfriend and she got all her breasts and stuff out. She going to be looking like, daggone, trying to cover up because you're going to make them feel uncomfortable. So that's the same way in your house. If you're keeping the commandments, the person that's not keeping the commandments is going to start feeling uncomfortable. They're not going to be able to stick around. That's just how it works. Let's go to, what's it? I think I want 1 Timothy's. I got down there 2 Timothy's. 1 Timothy's 3. You got something, officer, you want to speak on? There you go right now. Okay. Let's go to 1 Timothy's 3 and 1.
1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. This is a true saying. If a man desire the office of a bishop, he desireth a good work.
So a bishop just means leader. All of us should desire to be leaders. If you are the man of a house, you're a leader by default. You understand that? So you're a leader. Read.
A bishop then must be blameless.
He must be what?
Blameless.
So that's what I'm saying. If you're a leader, you got to make sure that you're blameless. So I know a lot of people say, especially in Christianity, oh, nobody can be blameless. What they say? Nobody can be perfect. Nobody can keep the commandments. Y'all hear that? All right, so let's see. Let's go to what I want. I want Luke 1, 5, and 6. Let's get that real quick. We're dealing with being blameless.
Luke chapter 1 and verse 5. There was in the days of Herod, the king of Judea, a certain priest named Zacharias, of the course of Abiah, and his wife was of the daughters of Aaron, and her name was Elizabeth.
So these are two Israelites. Read.
And they were both righteous before God, walking in all the commandments and ordinances of the Lord, blameless.
Now, I thought in Christianity they say couldn't nobody keep the laws. What they say they was doing?
And walking in all the commandments and ordinances of the Lord, blameless.
So as a bishop, we gotta walk blameless. Let's get another scripture. Let's go to show you how important that is. Go to 1 Thessalonians 5:22 and 23.
1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 22. Abstain from all appearance of evil, and the very God of peace sanctify you wholly. And I pray God, your whole spirit and soul and body be preserved blameless.
You see that? Read.
Unto the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ.
So we gotta walk. We gotta be examples in our house. We gotta make sure that we're doing our best to keep the commandments. Because as leaders of your household, who's watching you? You got your wife watching you first, and then you got your kids. Your kids see everything you're doing. You understand that? Let's go to Philippians 2 and 12. And read on down.
Philippians chapter 2, verse 12. Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling.
See that? So we can't just be here at the school acting like we got it all together. You understand? Brothers be, shalom, most high Christ bless. You know, you thinking they got, and the sisters be bowing down, hitting their heads on the ground. You know, shalom, most high Christ bless. A low voice, and then you hear him in the background on the phone, and he cussing somebody out. Hey, look, we get some calls from counsel, and some of these sisters that's got these little teeny voices, it'd be different. It'd be turned up. That's what I'm saying. You know, that stuff come out.
Hey, officer, it's funny, too, because the brother might call you, and they don't know you on the phone with them. You hear the cursing, da-da-da-da, oh, nigga this, nigga that. Oh, shalom, officer, I didn't know you were on the phone.
Yeah.
Then they get real quiet.
My Lord. You hang up the phone, my nigga. That's how I go. Hey, look, we can't be hypocrites because that stuff going to come out. You understand that? So keep reading, read that.
For it is God which worketh in you both to will and to do of his good pleasure. Do all things without murmurings and disputings.
Watch this.
That ye may be blameless and harmless, the sons of God, without rebuke in the midst of a crooked and perverse nation.
It's because we in a crooked and perverse nation. So it's our goals. We got to set the example. We got to walk blameless. We got to be able to show the righteous example of what an Israelite should be. Keep reading, finish up.
Among whom ye shine as lights in the world.
You see that? We shine as lights in the world. That's why a lot of times when you're around people that's not keeping the commandments, they don't want to be around you because the light is just too bright. They in darkness. You exposing their wickedness. Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now let's go to Wisdom of Solomon 10, 13 through 15.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10, verse 13. When the righteous was sold, she forsook him not.
Talking about wisdom, read.
But delivered him from sin. She went down with him into the pit and left him not in bonds till she brought him the scepter of the kingdom and power against those that oppressed him.
Read.
As for them that had accused him, she showed them to be liars.
Hey, so look, when you walk in blameless, a lot of times, especially like in the marriage council, when they come in and they be found liars, they make these accusations. Well, is a brother or the sister doing X, Y, and Z? No. Are they doing X, Y, and Z? No. So what's the problem? The problem is you don't want to do what you're supposed to do. You understand that? Read.
And gave him perpetual glory. She delivered the righteous people and blameless seed from the nation that oppressed them.
You see that? So we got to walk blameless if we want to be delivered. It starts in the house. You understand that? So before you can go out and correct the people, you got to get yourself together and get your house in order. So let's go to where we at now. Let's go back to 1 Timothy 3. Go back there real quick. Yeah, verse 2.
1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 2. A bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife.
The husband of one wife. I know Deacon hit on this today because we got some brothers think you should have more than one wife. We don't do. I just gotta briefly say something about this because we got a whole lot of classes on it, but we there's just one wife. That's it. Go to 1 Corinthians 7:2 real quick.
1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 2. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife.
Have your own wife. That's it. Just one wife. We don't do multiple wives. Because I know, because they got the wicked, what you call them? The black Hebrew Israelites out there. They teaching that. And some of our people, they try to promote. It's crazy how they try to promote them or put them on the forefront. They don't want us on the forefront showing, they don't want to show us. They'll highlight them in the foolery that they put up there. So I'm gonna show you this foolery. Get the video. Get the video number 3.
The Bible says that a man can have as many wives as he wants.
Where does it say that?
1 Timothy chapter 3.
And what does it say?
It says that a bishop should be the husband of one wife, and it says the deacon should also be the husband of one wife. Well, I'm not a bishop or a deacon. I'm a prophet and a preacher.
So by omission, it says you can have more than one. As long as you're not a preacher or a deacon, you can have many women you want.
No, as long as you're not a deacon or a bishop, you don't fit into that category. That rule doesn't apply to you.
Well, it never says about how many husbands a wife can have. So,
well, it does say that.
Where does it say that at?
Where does it say that?
I can't name it.
Okay. Well, tell me who these 2 other wives are.
Well, I have a African queen in Kenya, and I've got a Filipino princess.
Oh,
in the Philippines.
really?
And I got an African.
Hey, look, that's the mind of a black Hebrew Israelite right there. I'm not trying to be a deacon or a bishop. He don't want to be a leader. He wants to be a nigga. You understand that? You got something like you want to say that?
Yeah. Let me get Sirach 27 really quick, because stuff like that he'll only get that idea from hanging around other wicked niggas like that want to teach that want to preach that. And that's great. That's the BHI doctrine. That's exactly what they say. Read verse 12.
Sirach chapter 26 and verse 12.
I start at verse 11.
Verse 11.
Uh-huh.
Watch over an impudent eye.
27 and 12.
Sirach
and 11.
Sirach chapter 27 verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
The discourse of a godly man is always with wisdom.
So if you're discoursing with godly men or godly women, that's not going to come up in the conversation. And brothers aren't going to say, oh, you could have 3-4 concubines. Sisters won't be telling y'all, girl, it's no problem being a sister wife. No, that is not godly discourse. Keep reading.
But a fool changeth as the moon.
Meaning he's unstable. As many as the phases the moon has, his mind changes. And with each phase, he's not structured. He's not rooted. Keep reading.
If thou be among the indiscreet.
So like Officer Mandel was bringing out earlier about making sure that you're avoiding appearance of evil. Read that again, verse 12.
If thou be among the indiscreet.
If you do happen to be among the indiscreet people in the world, because you do got to let your light shine. We do deal with worldly people, worldly family members.
Observe the time.
Still observe the time. You shouldn't be spending all day, the whole weekend, every other weekend you meeting up with them, because why?
But be continually among men of understanding.
Why?
The discourse of fools is irksome.
So the discourse of those people is going to be irksome.
And their sport is in the wantonness of sin.
Meaning the only thing that they're good at, that they're proven at, is sin, and that is going to rub off on you, like it's in Proverbs 26. It says the way of the righteous is mighty, but the way of the wicked seduces them. So eventually that will rub off on you if you by yourself hanging around worldly people all the time.
The BHIs. That's my man right there. He was quoting their doctrine, man. He was word for word. He's like, man, I ain't trying to be no bishop or no deacon. I want to be a Negro. That's what he trying to be. So when we go back, let's go back to 1 Timothy 3. So we dealt with one wife. Let's get the next. Let's get that.
1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 2. A bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife, vigilant.
So we got to be vigilant. So I just want to cover that real quick. I'm not going to hit all these, but 1 Peter 5 and 8, let's get that real quick. So this is going into being a leader, because remember, we can't be lords at the house if we acting like Negroes at the house. So we got to make sure that we convert ourselves and then convert our houses.
1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour.
You see that? So if we're not vigilant, that devil is out there waiting on us. We got to make sure that we stay on top of our game. You understand that? Let's go to Proverbs 8 and 34 real quick. Let's get that.
Proverbs chapter 8, verse 34. Blessed is the man that heareth me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the posts of my doors.
You see that? So we gotta keep a diligent eye out for sin. Things jump off, you gotta get right on top of it. Go to Matthew 26 and 41.
Matthew chapter 26, verse 41. Watch and pray.
See that? It says, watch and pray.
That ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak.
You see that? So it says we got to watch and pray. It's letting you know that you enter not into temptation. So what is that talking about? So like certain like weaknesses that you got. You know, if you had a problem, you was out there smoking weed or whatever, you don't want to be back out there with that same group. You want to watch your surroundings. You want to watch who you deal with. If you had a problem with porn, what do you got to do? You got to watch what you put on your phone. You got to make sure that you stay on top of your game. And then we always got to stay in prayer. That's something I got to really work on. Sometimes I forget. I'm like, man, I got to get down and say my prayers. It's something that we always got to do. We got to watch and pray. So go ahead back to 1 Timothy 3.
1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 2. A bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife, vigilant, sober, of good behavior, given to hospitality.
I want to cover that. Given to hospitality. Let's do that real quick. Given to hospitality. 1 Peter 4 and 9. Let's get that. I want to cover that. Like I said, I'm not going to hit every last point.
1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 9. Use hospitality one to another, without grudging. As every man hath received the gift, even so minister the same one to another.
Read it again.
As every man hath received
Not from the top.
1 Peter chapter 4, verse 9. Use hospitality one to another, without grudging.
You see that? Without grudging. So meaning that if you see a brother in need, or if you got a brother that you can help out, you got to be right there on the spot, willing to help him out. I know, me and Officer Michael, we talk a lot. There's been times where he's helped me out and times where I helped him out. Whatever I got is his. Whatever he got is mine. If I'm really in need, I say, hey, officer, look, man, I'm short on something. Can you help me out? Hey, look, and vice versa. Tell him, officer.
Over the past years, I remember when I was working in D.C., I was telling the officer I literally couldn't afford to go into work because of pay for parking. So I reached out to Austin Mandel, and luckily they was able to help me out, help me pay for my parking. I couldn't afford to go to work. That's how bad it was. But I had a brother that was able to assist.
Yep. And there's been times where I've been short. I'll call Officer Mike and say, hey, man, I got something coming up I need some help with. And he help us out. But and it wasn't no problem. It wasn't like, oh, man, And when he asked the same way, it's not no problem. We got to be like that. That's how we got to be. Because if we ain't looking out for each other, who going to look out for us? Is the white man going to look out for us? Hell no, he ain't going to look out for us. So go ahead, read.
As every man hath received a gift, even so minister the same one to another, as good stewards of the manifold grace of God.
Okay, all right, that's it. Let's go to, let me see what I want. Romans 12 and 13.
Romans chapter 12, verse 13. Distributing to the necessity of saints, given to hospitality. Bless them which persecute you.
Okay, go back. Hold on, read that one more time.
Romans chapter 12, verse 13. Distributing to the necessity of saints, given to hospitality.
So that goes back more into what we're talking about, making sure that you're your brother's keeper. You know, we all we got in here. If we're not helping each other, nobody's going to help us. Especially, you know, when you come into this truth, pretty much your family, a lot of them is cutting you off. They say you cutting them off, but a lot of them don't want you to come around. They ain't trying to hear that stuff because they already know when they say something, or if they say that, you know how it is, man. They say something, then you got to respond. You understand that? Man, why you ain't show up to so-and-so birthday? Then you got to tell them what it is, or, you know, something about Thanksgiving, or if they talking about some wickedness, you're going to let them know what it is. Like, you're not going for it. So they're not going to want you around. Let's go there. We got somebody over there, somebody relative calling. Yeah, man. So let's go back. 1 Timothy 2, or 1 Timothy 3, rather.
1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 2.
Yeah,
a bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife, vigilant, sober, of good behavior, given to hospitality, apt to teach.
It's apt to teach. So now, there's a couple different ways you can teach. You know what I mean? So let's get, let me see what I want. Sirach 9:1. Let's get this one first.
Sirach chapter 9 and verse 1. Be not jealous over the wife of thy bosom, and teach her not an evil lesson against thyself.
Now, the part I wanted was that last part. And teach her not an evil lesson against thyself. Meaning that you at the house, you're the leader, and your whole family's looking up to you, your wife, your kids, and all of that, but you teaching them evil lessons, meaning you breaking the commandments. That's against yourself. You understand that? Because all of that, what you're putting out there, is going to come back on you and your house. So as teachers, we got to make sure that we teaching righteous things that our family can duplicate. We don't want to be doing things that we don't want our family members to do. You understand that? You're in the house, and you know good as well you shouldn't be watching certain things, or maybe you smoking weed, or whatever it is. You on different sites and stuff like that. Whatever your hang-up is, your family is there. They're watching that stuff. So what lessons are you teaching? Oh, yeah, all of that stuff. You got something, Mike? Okay, all right. Yeah, teach. Okay, I thought you said something over there. All right, so let's go to 2 Timothy 2 and 15.
2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15. Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth.
You see that? So we got to study. Because how can you teach somebody something if you don't know nothing? You can't teach somebody something if you don't know anything. What you going to teach them? The stuff you learned in the world? So that means you got to do what? You got to study. We got to make sure that we study. Sirach 6 and 37.
Sirach chapter 6, verse 37. Let thy mind be upon the ordinances of the Lord, and meditate continually in his commandments.
Read.
He shall establish thine heart, and give thee the wisdom at thine own desire.
You see that? So if you want to become wise and be a wise teacher, you got to study and meditate on the scriptures. You understand that? That's the only way you're going to be able to do it. You just ain't going to just all of a sudden wake up and know the scriptures and know how to lead. It's a process. You understand that? Jump up to 36 real quick. I want to get that too. Hold on. Let me jump up to 34 and read down.
Verse 34. Stand in the multitude of the elders, and cleave unto him that is wise.
So what's that talking about? You got to get around brothers that's got more experience in the scriptures than you. Get around learned men. If you just starting out, you got to get around learned men so you can learn more. Build yourself up. Read.
Be willing to hear every godly discourse, and let not the parables of understanding escape thee.
So whenever the scriptures is coming out, you got to try to make sure you in the mix. Also, if you don't have access at certain times, you can get on the phone, call your officer or your soldier, whoever it is that's above you, make a phone call, go over some scriptures, watch videos of, the learned men. You got something, Mike?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just real quick, if I can get a Sirach 24, start at 1, then we're going to jump to 19.
Sirach chapter 24, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Wisdom shall praise herself and shall glory in the midst of her people.
So like Osman was bringing out, in order for us to gain wisdom and to have wisdom, we got to be studying, we got to be around like-minded brothers and sisters, and we got to be applying the law. Jump to verse 18.
Verse 18.
19.
19.
Mm-hmm.
Come unto me, all ye that be desirous of me.
So you got to be around brothers that are bringing out wisdom. So when the leadership has circles, when brothers are going over scriptures, you got to be around that to gain understanding. That's the only way. Keep reading.
And fill yourselves with my fruits.
You got to be studying.
For my memorial is sweeter than honey,
Uh-huh.
and mine inheritance than the honeycomb.
Read verse 21.
Verse 21. They that eat me shall yet be hungry.
They that study shall not be hungry. Meaning you're not going to have you're not going to have non-understanding. You're not going to have foolish thoughts or foolish actions. You're going to be filled with wisdom, filled with understanding if you're taking part of it, if you're studying, if you're applying.
And they that drink me shall yet be thirsty.
Uh-huh.
He that obeyeth me,
He that obeyeth me
shall never be confounded.
meaning you'll never be confounded if you're applying. You can do all the reading you want, all the studying, but you got to be applying to attain this wisdom.
And they that work by me shall not do amiss.
That's it.
All right. So I want to get an example. Let's get a video. Video number 3 real quick.
The book of Malachi, chapter 2, verse 7. For the priest's lips should keep knowledge, and they should seek the law at his mouth.
So God's knowledge is his laws. So now when we backtrack, go back to Isaiah 5:13 now. We're going to backtrack. Isaiah 5:13.
Therefore, my people are gone into captivity.
Meaning, my people have gone into captivity because we have no knowledge of God's laws. That's what he's saying. Was that the whole verse?
No, sir.
Go ahead.
Therefore, my people are gone into captivity because they have no knowledge, and their honorable men are famished.
Meaning the leaders of our people are famished. Famished from what? God's knowledge. Famished from his laws. Go ahead.
And their multitude dried up with thirst.
We're dried up with thirst. Thirst for what? God's laws.
All right, so that's just an example. So Bishop is the most qualified and apt to teach in IUIC. You understand that? But it's examples for us. It's showing you that us as the priest now, we got to come with the knowledge. We got to come with the laws. We got to, because our people have been destroyed. You saw the first video that we played where the sister showed the order. Where'd they get that from? Is that it? Can we read that anywhere in the scriptures where you're supposed to put the child first and then the husband last and then the dad, he in there? If they would have had roaches on the list, the roach would have been ahead of the black man on there. We down at the bottom. I'm trying to tell you, that's reality right there. So now let's go back to 1 Timothy 3 and read that real quick.
1 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 3. Not given to wine.
Not given to what?
Not given to wine.
So that's a big one right there. That one causes a lot of problems. Brothers don't know how to drink in moderation. Because remember, what we're going over, why are we going over this? We're going over this because brothers got to make sure that we get ourselves as leaders in order first. Because let me tell you something. When you got yourself in order and you're blameless, and you trying to apply Matthew 18 at the house, and your rib don't want to hear you, and you're doing what you're supposed to do according to the scriptures, and you say, well, let's go to the next step. Let's just go to council and see if we can get this resolved. You think she want to go to council? No, she don't want to go to council. Most of the times they don't want to go to council. You pretty much got to drag them in there. We see it a lot. So-and-so don't want to go to council. Why she don't want to go to council? Because if you right, why would you have a problem going to council if you know what you're doing is right? You wouldn't have a problem going to council, would you? So, brothers, I'm trying to tell you, this is how you get your house in order. When you get yourself in order and you're blameless, the sisters will follow suit. or they're going to leave. It's one or the other. You understand that? Because they ain't going to want to go to counsel, because what you think going to happen when they get into counsel? We're going to ask the brothers, okay, are you doing this? You doing that? You doing this? And he's like, yeah, I'm taking care of this and doing that. And then we go to the sister. Well, sister, what is he doing? That's wrong. You know what we hear sometimes? Well, I didn't like how he said something. Okay. Oh, what?
He won't listen to me.
Yeah, he won't listen to me.
He won't
Something
do what
like
I
that.
want him to do.
Yeah, stuff like that. We hear it all the time. And that, I don't like how he says something is a distraction. Don't fall for it, man. When you make a statement, oh, I don't like how you said it. It's not about how I said it. It's about what I said. I don't want to get off the topic, because they'll try to throw you these loops and have you arguing about how you said something instead of what you actually said. You understand that? How many people experience that as brothers in here? That's a tactic, brothers. Don't fall for it. That's some BS. Because what they want to do is turn the argument into your tone versus the actual issue. You understand that? That's that. Get that in, what is that, Sirach 32 and 17, I think it is. Is that what I want? You know what I'm talking about? Get it.
Sirach chapter 32, verse 17. A sinful man will not be reproved.
Hold on. Read it again.
A sinful man
or woman
will not be reproved.
Won't be corrected.
But findeth an excuse.
I don't like your tone.
According to his will.
Because they don't want to address the issue. You understand that? That's a distraction. Don't fall for it. We're not falling for that. Because at the end of the day, let's deal with the issue. You understand that? So don't fall for that. What's another one that they do? That's the main one. This is another one, too. Y'all, if y'all think of something, let me know. I know y'all brothers out here, y'all done heard them all.
Tears.
Oh, yeah, the tears. Tears, I don't care nothing about no tears, bro. I ain't worried about them either. That stuff right there don't mean nothing, man. So us as men, what we got to do, that's why I start with the men first. The men got to step up and make sure that we're blameless. So the wine, let's deal with the wine. Isaiah 5 and 11. So we can't be a drunk at the house and then call ourselves leaders. Let's do that.
Isaiah chapter 5, verse 11. Woe unto them that rise up early in the morning, that they may follow strong drink, that continue until night, till wine inflame them.
We seen that. Brothers destroy themselves messing with the wine. That's something that happens. Jump to Sirach 31:27.
Sirach chapter 31, verse 27. Wine is as good as life to a man, if it be drunk moderately.
You see that? If you drink moderate. So there's nothing wrong, because, you know, in Christianity, you can eat a bowl of chitlins and shrimp and go to church on the wrong day, shave your head bald and wear spandex as a man. You can do all this kind of stuff. That's not a sin. But if you drink wine, God forbid, that brother's a sinner. You ever heard anything so ridiculous in Christianity? Christ turned water into wine. How is that a sin for you to drink wine? It says, read that again.
Wine is as good as life to a man, if it be drunk moderately.
You got to just be moderate what you're drinking. Read.
What life is then to a man? That is what wine. For it was made to make men glad.
It was made to make you glad. That's why they call it spirits. You heard people call it drink spirits. Read.
Wine measurably drunk and in season.
You see that? So wine measurably drunk and in season. Meaning you ain't first thing in the morning. You see them brothers got a bottle of Mad Dog first thing as soon as you wake up. Y'all seen that. I was at a job where a dude used to drink like a fifth of Mad Dog every day in the morning. And it was crazy. One morning we was walking out, and he just finished drinking a fifth. This dude fell straight on his face. So one of the other brothers was like, man, look at you. You out here drunk. You done drank this wine and fell on your face. He looked at him. He said, yeah, but I got back up. And it was crazy because that's when that song was out. We fall down, but we get up. It was just wild, man. I was just like, but I actually seen brothers like that. First thing in the morning, that's a real life witness. This dude literally fell on his face, drinking a fifth of Mad Dog first thing in the water in the morning. One time we was having a party, an office party, and the owner had bought some wine or whatever, you know, like regular wine, and he was there. He said, "Man, I can't drink that. That's like tap water. I got to go out and get me something real drink." So he had to go out and get that Mad Dog. That was his thing. Mad Dog is cheaper than bottled water, by the way. You can get some Aquafina, probably cost you more than a bottle of Mad Dog. But that was his drink. Yeah. So let's go back. Read that.
Sirach chapter 31, verse 28. Wine measurably drunk and in season bringeth gladness of the heart and cheerfulness of the mind.
But watch this.
Two.
You good? You need another mic? Yeah. Hold on. Let's get something else. Let's try that.
Two. Reader mic, turn me up.
All right, go ahead.
All right. But wine drunketh with excess maketh bitterness of the mind. With brawling.
Hold on, but what?
With brawling.
With brawling. Let's get the video. Let's show this dude, man. Video number 4.
This is one of the most horrific videos that any drunk douchebag should ever see. Joe Schilling is at a bar, and he's trying to walk past this guy to get to the bathroom. The guy backs up as Joe's walking. He doesn't see him, and Joe bumps into him. And then the guy says, "Hey." All that dude had to do was flinch at him, and Joe hit the switch. And then he walks away like it ain't sh**. That's one of the most wonderful instant karma videos of all time.
The greatest.
Hey, look, when you get drunk, that's the things that can happen. Brothers wake up the next day, all his front teeth gone. Something like that, or his car crashed up. Hey, look. Hey, and that's if you're lucky, because you can mess around and kill somebody. And then your whole life could be changed. You understand that? Your whole life is over with. You know, you done destroyed your family and everything. Now they done lost a provider and everything like that. So read that again.
Sirach chapter 31, verse 28. Verse 29. But wine drunken with excess maketh bitterness of the mind. With brawling and quarreling.
Read.
Drunkenness increaseth the rage of a fool till he offend.
Till he do what?
Till he offend.
You see that? Tell you, you're going to end up offending somebody. You get drunk, you're going to offend people. It happens. Read.
It diminisheth strength and maketh wounds.
Meaning you're going to jack yourself up. You see, you seeing these like car accidents and wrapped around poles and all that? You got something, officer?
Yes, sir. We got read the last part again. We got a video. That last part about hurting himself. Maketh wounds.
It diminisheth strength and maketh wounds.
So if y'all been ever to Langley Park, Riverdale, Hydesville, you've seen this before. Put that video up. Wheaton, you've definitely seen this. In general. I just posted it in general. I'll read it again.
Sirach chapter 31 and verse 30. Drunkenness increaseth the rage of a fool till he offend.
Till he offend. I know Joe Rogan said the brother, it was his karma, but he talks smack to the dude, but the martial artist, he should have known better. He was probably drunk as well too, putting the hands on him like that. Like they're trained, they're known not to be effing up people like that. So he had to be drinking himself. And he pushed the brother in the back. They was both drunk. Edomites. Keep reading.
It diminishes strength.
It diminishes. It makes you weak because anybody in it who's been drunk before, you know, you feel weak, you feel queasy, you don't have control of your mind. Like you lose all strength that you had before, and you get false strength in your mind.
And maketh.
I need you to shut the hell up for the immediate future.
I didn't post that. Huh? Oh, that was a sound effect? Yes, sir. Oh. Read the last part again. And maketh what?
It diminisheth strength and maketh wounds.
And maketh wounds. Either by you tripping, you hurting yourself, you fighting, you getting beat up, or you saying something hurtful. You saying something you can't take back. Do we have it yet? Soldier football? All right, let's play that. Again, if you've been in Wheaton, Riverdale, Langley Park, you've seen this.
Man, we might need to put that middle light back, boy. You sure? You sure? I don't think you got it, boy.
Oh my God.
Yeah, go ahead. You want me to grab that middle light for you? Lord help him.
No, I already go.
Sir, you might want to put that middle light back, sir. I ain't even trying to be funny. This is a sign from the Lord. Can I get the middle light from you? I'll give you $20 for it. I'll give you 20 for the middle light. You don't think you need that tonight? Let me help you out, man. You need help up. Lord, help.
He ain't done yet.
Hey.
One of them out Northern Kingdom, they are not putting that drink down.
Y'all all agree. Now, y'all seen that man in this store. I don't even know if he bought it from already.
He gonna get up again?
No, we ain't calling police. But you can't drive, though. You can't drive, bro. You done hit that ground twice. Cinco de Mayo next week now. Cinco de Mayo a little early.
That's it. He keep falling, getting up and falling. So that's the make of the wounds.
Hey, look, that's crazy right there. Let's go back to 1 Timothy and read from 3 on down to 5.
1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 3. Not given to wine, no striker, not greedy of filthy lucre.
So we can't be covetous.
But patient, not a brawler.
So we can't be out there fighting because we know we got some of them in the house. They going back and forth. We get that. It get the blows. Read.
Not covetous.
We can't be covetous. That's one thing. We got to understand that this world is going to pass away. Everything here is temporary. You understand that? Your car, your nice car, your house, everything is, all of that is, you can't take it with you. It's going to be gone. It's going to burn. Read.
One that ruleth well his own house.
You see that? One that ruleth well his own house. But you had to do all this other stuff to rule your house well first. You got to get yourself in order first before you can rule your house well. Read.
Having his children in subjection.
Meaning you can't have bad kids. Kids run around tearing up, getting in trouble and all that kind of stuff.
With all gravity. For if a man know not how to rule his own house.
See that? If you can't, so you can't rule your house if you don't rule yourself first. So if you can't rule your house, read.
How shall he take care of the church of God?
You see that? So you can't rule, you can't be a responsible leader if you can't get your house together. You can't get your house together if you can't get yourself together. It all works together. Like, so the first thing you got to focus on, brothers, we got to get ourselves together. We got to make sure that we are applying the commandments, we studying, and that we are good examples in our house. Because we have lost, you can see how the world don't respect us. We're at the bottom. You understand that? We below rats and roaches. Y'all saw the video earlier. They ain't thinking about us. Go to Genesis 18 through 19.
Genesis chapter 18, verse 18. Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him.
You see that? So he know, because Abraham keeping the commandments, that he going to have his house in order. Read.
And they shall keep the way of the Lord.
You see that? He going to keep the way of the Lord. Read.
To do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he hath spoken of him.
He going to bless Abraham because Abraham is applying the laws. He's commanding his house. His house ain't out of order. Let's go to, so now I'm going to deal with the sisters some. We're dealing with the brothers. 1 Corinthians 11, 1 through 3.
1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 1. Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Christ.
Read.
Now I praise you, brethren, that you remember me in all things, and keep the ordinances as I deliver them to you. But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
You see that? So our head is Christ. So do we talk back and buck against Christ as men? No. Read.
And the head of the woman is the man.
You see that? So the head of the woman is the man. So, man, if we getting ourselves together, we got to eliminate all excuses. And I'm not saying that if you're working on yourself, that gives your rib an excuse to not listen to you. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is we got to do our part and reduce get rid of all the excuses. They can't point the finger at you when you start correcting them because you got your stuff in order. That's what you want to do. You want to eliminate, because that's what they'll do. You'll see something that's out of order. Well, what about you? You do this and do that. They'll throw you off. That's the blame game. That's the game that's being played. So what we got to do as men, lead by example. Get your stuff in order first, so then when you making a correction, nothing can be said. That's it. That's the end of the conversation. That's it. I'm getting myself in order. And if they are able to point out something, you say, okay, you got me there. I'm going to get that right. I'm going to make sure that I get that right, because I don't want to give you nothing to talk about. You understand that? You got to get in order, because it's like anything else. Whether it be like Esau, understand that. They got football coming on tomorrow, right? They got basketball. It's orders. If the team ain't on the same page, what's going to happen with the team? If you're working at a company and you ain't on the same page with your boss, what's going to happen to that business? It's going to fail. So the marriage is the same way. Get that in real quick. What's that? Matthew 12, I think it is. 12 and 25. Yeah, 12 and 25. Get that real quick.
Matthew chapter 12, verse 25. And Jesus knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation.
You see that? So every kingdom. So United States, what's going on with the United States right now? It's divided. It's starting to fall down. Read.
And every city or house divided against itself.
Every city or what?
Or house.
Or house. So if you and your rib ain't on the same page, read.
Divided against itself shall not stand.
You see that? So that's why you got to be on the same page. Understand that. That's why brothers got to get themselves in order, and then the woman has got to learn to follow. Because if you don't, the house is not going to stand. You got something, officer?
Sir, could I please get 1 Peter 3 and 7?
1 Peter chapter 3, verse 7. Likewise.
Well, read verse 1, let's go to 7.
Verse 1. Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands.
Again, to your own husbands, one wife, one husband.
That if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wives.
Because your husband, he might be tripping. He might have the devil on him at a time. But if you respond likewise with Satan, y'all's going to be brawling. But if you go back to the scriptures, that's that he'll snap back like, oh, damn, I'm tripping. I need to be ruling my household like a man of God. And also, if your husband's an unbeliever as well, too, if there's any sisters in here, this could help as well, too. There's been situations where we've had to correct sisters because they've been treating their unrepentant husbands like niggas. Even they were niggas, but they don't want to join because this is what y'all teach. This is how y'all tell your wife to treat your husbands. So you got to make sure to always be godly as much as possible. Now jump to verse 7.
Verse 7. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge.
So, man, you got to dwell with your wives according to knowledge, according to the scriptures.
Giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel.
As unto the weaker vessel. You can't always have your expectations high and think she's going to be on 10s all the time. It's not going to happen.
And as being heirs together of the grace.
As being what?
Heirs together.
As being heirs together, one flesh.
Of the grace of life.
Of the grace of life, eternal life.
That your prayers be not hindered.
So if you aren't dwelling with your wife according to honor, says if you're not reverencing your husband, y'all prayers are going to be hindered. Y'all are heirs together, so y'all got to do this thing together.
That's what they got to understand. Teamwork. Because this is the one flesh. You can't go against your Lord. You're going against yourself. If y'all one flesh, that don't work, whether it be sports, whether it be corporate America. It don't work anywhere. It's definitely not going to work in your house. If y'all not on the same page, your marriage is going to fail. Your household is going to collapse. Go to 1 Corinthians 11, 8 through 10.
1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 8. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man.
So the woman was created for the man. Understand that. I know a lot of our sisters may not understand that, but that's the fact. But today the roles have been reversed. Get that in Jeremiah 31 and 22, because this is Bible prophecy.
Jeremiah chapter 31 and verse 22. How long wilt thou go about, O backsliding daughter? For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man.
So that's a new thing in the earth that was created. Who created that? The white man. And he put them over us. He didn't put them over himself. That's why now you see these sisters that thinking they over the white man. Trump is doing what? Indicting them. What did he just indict the Letitia James? And then he talking about he going after the other one down there because Esau getting tired of you see what they call it, black fatigue. They got these videos. They got all these memes. I don't know if you can find any of the memes or the black where they mocking our sisters because they didn't create Frankenstein. They like, daggone, we didn't create something that's got out of control. These like, where they created Frankenstein, he got out the castle. That's the black woman now. She didn't got out of the castle. She's tearing cities down, twerking on cars and everything. Esau like, I don't know what I created. We gotta get this thing under control. This thing ain't got off the chain. You got something? So now they got these memes coming out, and and the same thing with the brothers. The brothers are destroyed. You understand that? So, but now they're mocking the sisters at a point to where it's crazy. They got so many memes about our sisters. You got it? Okay, let's play something. Hey, look, they got some AI memes. I don't know, them ones that they got out there is crazy.
But they're accurate.
Yeah, they are. That's
That's
crazy.
why I saw it too.
Yeah, that one. You don't know if that was what they call it, live or Memorex back in the day. If somebody remember that, but yeah, is it real? I don't know but that's what Now it's gotten to the point to where the white man's like, look, we didn't create something that is beyond our wildest imaginations. They can't even. They can't even comprehend what they created. We've been destroyed to that level, so we gotta get back. You got something else? That was it. Okay. All right, yeah, get that. Let's get that real quick. Let's get that real quick. But this is something what they've done to our sisters. So that's why it's important. Like we got ladies in waiting and these type of things. Because we are Deuteronomy 7:6. We are the greatest people on the earth. So we got to get back to that. You understand that? We got the most beautiful and the best sisters. But through all of the deceit and everything, they've been destroyed. You understand that? You got it? Okay, let's go. Look, that's what we got. And that's the image that's being put out there. You understand that? So that's what we got to combat against. Understand that? Let's get the video number 5 that I had put up there. Video number 5.
Masculine back then than they are now?
Men worldwide were more masculine because we didn't have feminism. But see, the problem is black women, your mother's generation.
You don't think men were more masculine back then than they are now?
Men worldwide were more masculine because we didn't have feminism. But see, the problem is black women, your mother's generation and your grandmother's generation, they really failed you guys because they told you didn't need a man. Who raised these feminine, weak black men that you have a problem with? Who raised them? Who raised them? 80% of black children are born out of wedlock. Who raised them?
Mm-hmm.
Who?
We did.
Who's we?
My mom or whoever my grandparents did.
Black who?
Women.
Thank you. That's who raised them. You raised the very men you have a problem with. Black men are 51% childless, 64% in the middle class. And the problem keeps being that, well, the black men back there were stronger. Back then, we had more of the law on our side, and we actually had more of a community. What happened, if you want the truth, was when the Great Society came in and black women were given a choice between government assistance and your men, black women chose government assistance. As black male unemployment went down, black female welfare enrollment went up.
So when Kevin Samuel says government assistance, he's basically saying the white man. They chose the white man over husbands. That's what they chose, because you're still not empowered over the man. You're still subjected to the white man. He's taking away the welfare now, because that monster that they created, they're like, dang, this monster that got out of control. Let's take away the welfare, take away the Section 8. We got to get these. We got to get them back on, because they send out the letters now. If you're on Section 8 for more than, 2 years, you got like 90 days to get out for the sisters. And they cutting off the welfare. So, a lot of people, they had the, you got to look at what's going on, man. They had the congressmen complaining about sending Northern Kingdom back. They saying, we ain't going to have nobody to pick our fruits and vegetables and do this work, clean the hotels and do all this and that. So, Trump, the businessman that he is, he said, we got all these people collecting money for doing nothing. They all need jobs now. So, hey, look, somebody going to be picking that fruit and vacuuming them floors in them hotels and stuff like that. Because if you don't, you ain't going to get no check and you ain't going to have nowhere to live, because the white man is not playing. All of that stuff that sisters been able to not regard the men for, I can do, this on my own. I got Uncle Sam to pay the bills and to give me food and all that. He cutting all that off. You understand that? So that's what's going on. That he's the Lord is changing the mind of the white man. What's that? Proverbs 21:1. Let's get that real quick, and we're gonna go on down. We got to recognize what's going on.
Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord.
You see that? The king's heart. So the Lord is the one that's manipulating this man's mind to say, hey, you know what? It's time to turn the oppression up. Our people have had it too good for too long. It's time down to turn it up, because they're not going to listen. As long as they can go down there and get what they want and they got a place to go and all that, they ain't trying to hear it. We out there, we in the hoods passing out flyers. We in the ghetto. We try to get somebody a flyer, what they say, I'm good. How you good? You in the ghetto? Because you got your housing and your food. You straight. You don't need nothing else. But what's going to happen when they take away the housing and the food? They going to be good then? They ain't going to be good. Their ears are going to start opening up. That's what the Lord got to do to get people to wake up. He got to open their ears up. Let's go to, let's see, where am I at? Let's go to Isaiah 3:12. Because Kevin Samuels made a good point. Like, who's raising the men that our sisters are complaining about? And we got to look at it at both sides. So we have women that don't know how to deal with men. Like, when you, like, a lot of times when I'm talking to sisters, I can tell in the conversation whether they're married or whether they had a father figure at the house, because they understand how to deal with men. Women, you have a lot of women that never had no type of interaction really with men. They don't know how to deal with men. And then the same thing with brothers. You got brothers that don't know how to really be men because they didn't have a man to show them how to be men. So everything here, that the things that we learned here, we have to do away with that and be born again according to the scriptures, meaning that however we define being a man, it's got to be defined by the Bible. However we define being a woman, it's got to be defined by the Bible. We can't go by what we were taught, especially if you grew up in a house and you didn't have a father figure in the house. There's no way you know how to be a man, or there's no way that you really know how to deal with a man as a woman. Because the person that taught you how to deal with a man couldn't deal with a man because they ain't have a man. You understand that? So if they knew how to deal with a man, there would have been a man in the house. There wasn't a man in the house, so obviously they didn't know how to deal with him. Because a good woman ain't going to have a problem keeping a man. I'm going to tell you that. Men ain't leaving no good woman. You understand that? If he's a decent guy, you know what I mean? So what we got? Let's get that.
Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them.
Read.
O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of the path.
So the children that's coming up now, who's raising them? The sisters have been raising them. The man has been removed out of the equation. So let's get the video number 6 real quick. Let's get that.
If y'all's daddies loved y'all, there'd be more single fathers.
Yes, very interesting. Well, I like to say if our mothers loved us, there'd be more single fathers. See, what's supposed to happen is after the nurturing years from birth to about 4 or 5, mothers historically have given the children to the father, especially the son. But your lust for WIC, Section 8, food stamps, and child support prevented you from doing that. And in your hateful stubbornness, you kept children that you were incapable of raising. And you created generations, 2 now, of thugs, gangsters, sluts, and city girls. And you did that by dominating, intimidating, manipulating your children. Yes, you did. In your insecurities, you competed with your daughters and made your sons husbands. You degraded your children and degraded your children's father to your children. You created and raised your children in some of the most toxic environments. You stunted their education. See, it's you, ladies, that beat the fuck out of your children when you're helping them with their homework. Anyone can Google black mother helping their child with their homework. And tell me again why 10th grade black boys are reading on a 3rd grade level? That's you. You're the fucking nurturer. Do you know the statistics of being raised by this amazing, nurturing, strong black woman that you are? Google them. Again, you're raising created drug dealers, gangsters, black women that find more worth in a fucked up ass degree than they do in themselves. So you hate yourself and you created generations of black boys, black girls, black men and black women that too hate themselves. So to you, madam, if black women truly loved their children, they would have left.
Now, my man was going in hard, man, but brothers. Hey, look, my man was going in hard, but he's breaking down the scriptures basically, but obviously the brothers are supposed to marry their women. So we don't agree with that. They're supposed to be there and raise their kids together. But showing you the frustration of what a lot of brothers feel, and they seeing, how they couldn't be in their child's life, and then they see the children all jacked up. It's a lot of brothers that's frustrated like that. You understand that? So the scriptures talk about that because, let me get where am I going to next? I think, Genesis 2. This is why. Genesis 2:18.
Genesis chapter 2, verse 18. And the Lord God said, it is not good that the man should be alone.
Read.
I will make him an help meet for him.
He will make him a what?
An help meet for him.
You see that? So the woman was made to be what? A help meet. So if you are an electrician and you have a helper, it's certain things that a helper can't do that a qualified electrician would do. Like, would you send a helper to go in like a live electrical panel? What's going to happen if you go in there? They're going to get fried. So, just like what Officer Micah brought out earlier, the women are the weaker vessels. They were never made to be on their own. So just like in a trade where you have a helper's not made to be on his own. He's an assistant to the person of that trade, whatever it is. You understand that? Whether it be an electrician or a plumber. So even when you see marriages, you see the father is the transition of power of the sister over to the husband. But now in this society, the way it's taught is that the women are strong and independent, so you let them go to college, they get ran through, they get all these degrees, and they focusing on the education. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being educated or getting their degrees, but what I'm saying is they put a focus on that. And then by the time they graduate, and then you got to get your career in order, you got to get yourself set up. Most good men are already married, because men that want to get married, they get married young. So by the time that this sister and got all her degrees and doctors, she got all this stuff on the wall behind her, all these accomplishments, now it's time to settle down after you've been ran through, wore out, and guess what? All the good men is gone. All that's left is Pookie and Tyrone. And guess what Pookie and Tyrone want to do? Run through. They ain't trying to get married. They ain't married yet. I'm going to tell you, most brothers that's good men, they get married young. So if you wait until you do all of this stuff and then you go out and try to find a good man, you're going to have a hard time. That's just the reality of it. Or a bum. Yeah, or a bum. Somebody looking at, oh, yeah, she got all these degrees and all this money. I need to go over there and post up and never leave. That's what I need to do. That's what they end up finding. That's what's left. That's just the reality of it. You understand? But, all praise that, repentance is coming and brothers is getting their mind right. Let's go to 1 Timothy 5, 1 and 1 Timothy 5 and 9 through 14. Let's get that real quick, just to show you.
1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 9. Let not a widow be taken into the number under 60 years old.
Read.
Having been the wife of one man.
Read.
Well reported of for good works.
So this widow's putting in good works. Read.
If she have brought up children, if she have lodged strangers, if she have washed the saints' feet, if she have relieved the afflicted, if she have diligently followed every good work. But the younger widows...
So see that? So we took care of the widows because they didn't have a husband, right? So these are older sisters that can't really provide and stuff like that. The church got together and we made sure they were taken care of. Read.
But the younger widows refuse.
See that? Refuse. Read.
For when they have begun to wax wanton against Christ,
meaning they get lustful. Read.
They will marry, having damnation, because they have cast off their first faith.
Keep reading.
And withal they learn to be idle, wandering about from house to house, and not only idle, but tattlers, also and busybodies.
So meaning what? The younger sisters, we got to make sure that we keep them busy. Understand? To keep them out of trouble, they get lustful and things like that. Read.
Speaking things which they ought not. I will therefore that the younger women
marry. See, this is the part that I wanted, that the younger women do what?
Marry, bear children, guide the house, give none occasion to the adversary, to speak reproachfully.
But Esau's doctrine is opposite of that, because Esau will tell you to go get your degrees and do all this and do all of that. Then when you get 30 is the new 20 and, all this and that. They do that because they understand that the younger you get married, the more kids you can have, the more reproductive you. It's all a scheme. Because by the time you get married later on, it's harder for you to have, children. Then they putting all these toxins and everything in the food and the water and stuff like that. It's all about reducing the population. That's why they push that out there. It's not because they want you highly educated and they looking out for you. The white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Everything that he has set up is for your destruction. It just made the sound go, yeah, I really want you to get these degrees and be educated and make this money and stuff like that. And you believe in that, and that's not what he wants. What he wants you to do is wait till you can't get married, or you get married later on and you can't hardly have no kids. That's what he wants. That's exactly what he wants. That's the plan. So we just got to see through that and understand that that's a strategy that they use.
Officer Mandela, I don't think a lot of brothers or sisters have seen it. We might have to bring out the Jaffe memo.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if y'all seen that, the Jaffe memo.
Y'all aware of that, the Jaffe memo?
The Jaffe memo, PDF. Just to show them, because they might think I'm just talking. Like, that's not an actual plan. He wouldn't fool me like that. Oh, we really?
Well, actually twiddling their thumb, sold the show ball. You should be looking it up for us right now.
Yeah, the devil. Look, you can't, the devil got plans. Like, I bring this out a lot when I teach, because this just shows you how deep they go with their research to destroy us. You got it? The Jaffe memo PDF?
Jaffee.
Yes, it's written in 1969, by the way.
Make sure you get the PDF one. That's clear.
Yeah. So it just to show you that what I'm saying, I'm just not speaking or just saying something. This is actually a strategy. You understand? A lot of what you see today is going to be in this report.
And it's documented.
Yeah, it's documented.
So not no hearsay.
By Planned Parenthood.
Yeah.
So just imagine that. A place called Planned Parenthood. That sounds like you want to be Planned Parenthood, not killing babies. It should be called Planned Murders.
They do the exact opposite.
They do the exact opposite. Esau is the devil. You got it? Okay, get down to the bottom, because they got the graph at the bottom. That's it. This is written in 1969 by...
I might send it over. Y'all got... Here, hold on.
It should be at the bottom, because that's it right there. But they got to turn it. I don't know if you could turn that page. See, that's the page right there with the outline on it.
I'm about to post it for y'all.
You're going to post it? Okay, we'll post it up. So excuse us.
I just posted it in general. Use that one right there.
Yeah, use that one. So we'll do that. Just to show y'all. You got it? Okay, here we go. So let's read. Read that corner over there. Zoom in on the first thing. So this is population control. What does it say right there at the top in A? That ain't just clear.
Under population control.
It say, you see that right there?
Postpone, restructure. Can you see it? Turn around. Right there.
Let's say social constraints. Yeah, A.
Restructure family. Postpone or avoid marriage.
You see that? So this is written in 1969. Read the next one.
Alter image of ideal family size.
So they do that because you having kids later. How many kids you gonna have? You having them later. Also, if you ever seen the show they put out there, like Small House, why do you think they want you to have a small house? Because you can't have no kids up in no small house. So that's a strategy. Read.
Compulsory education of children.
That means force educate. What were they educating your kids on? The homosexuality, the more than one gender, and all that kind of stuff. Read.
Encourage increased homosexuality.
You see that? So all the stuff you're seeing, Esau laid this stuff out. A long time, 1969. Read that.
Educate for family limitation.
You see that? So shame you, because back in the day, black folks had like 14, 15 siblings. How many siblings you got now? 1 or 2? You understand that? So the plan is working. Well, it's starting to be reversed here in Israel. But read the next one.
Fertility control agents and water supply.
That's your fluoride. Why do you think they got fluoride in the water? You think that's the fluoride is a toxin. That's not to make you healthy. Same thing with your toothpaste. If you look it up, that's a toxin. That reduces fertility. It impacts your thyroid and all of that.
Encourage women to work.
That's why they got you to work. Y'all think they got y'all to work because they was wanting y'all to have jobs? I think I played that with Aaron Russo. Did I play that the last time? Aaron Russo interview? Aaron Russo interview about women's liberation. Aaron Russo is the one that did the Trading Places, the movie. He that wrote that. He used to hang out with the Rockefellers. And they was the one that was behind the women's liberation movement. They funded the whole thing. And he said he was talking to him, and you found it, Aaron Russo, women's liberation interview? We get to the point, it's like a little short clip. But he tells you that they put the women to work because they can have access to the kids and reduce the fertility and all of that stuff. So y'all thinking that this white man is looking out for me. He want me to have a job. He want me to be independent and strong. Right. This man is the devil. What y'all got to realize that y'all dealing with the devil. Y'all found it? Okay, they got it. So let's see what we got. Let's see. That's it.
I was laughing. He said, Aaron, what do you think women's liberation was about? And I said, I'm pretty conventional thinking about it at that point. I said, I think it's about women having the right to work, getting equal pay with men, just like they won the right to vote, you know? And he started to laugh. He said, you're an idiot. And I said, why am I an idiot? He said, let me tell you what that was about. We, the Rockefellers, funded that. We funded Women's Lib, you know? And we're the ones who got all over the newspapers and television, the Rockefeller Foundation. He says, and you want to know why? He says, there were 2 primary reasons. And they were, one reason was we couldn't tax half the population before Women's Lib. And the second reason was, now we get the kids in school at an early age. We can indoctrinate the kids how to think. It breaks up their family.
You see that? So it's a strategy behind everything that they do. These people is the devil. So that program is written way back in the 60s. There are other ones out there too. You understand? A lot of stuff you're seeing going on now with the government and all of that stuff is written in a memo called, what is that? Cloward and Piven. That's a whole nother thing. But a lot of stuff you're seeing is already, Esau be planning years, decades. They don't be like a Negro. A Negro just think about the next day. They got plans out there for generational plans that we don't even think about. Let's go to Sirach. Go back to Sirach 26 and 16.
Sirach chapter 26 and verse 16. As the sun, when it ariseth in the high heaven, so is the beauty of a good wife and the ordering of her house.
You see that? So the ordering of the house. A lot of people underestimate that. If your house is in order, so that goes like if the husband is in order, then the wife has the house in order. What does that mean? That means the children are being taught. You understand that? The house is literally in order. So you got to think about something. Just say your wife is making dinner, right? And she making chicken, and she runs out of, I don't know, pepper or something like that. She need pepper. She can't make the chicken without the pepper. What does she got to do? She got to stop what she's doing, go to the store, go get pepper, come back. How much time is lost? Oh, wow. You understand what I'm saying? But why is that? Because if you got your stuff in order, you know exactly what you got in your house. So if you run low on something, or say your husband, like he got his favorite, whatever it is, cereal, tea, or whatever, you should know what he need. You know what I'm saying? So if you got like a husband, what they say, when they in here, they say, oh, this is my Lord. But at the house, you treat him like a nigga. Because a Lord got what? He got everything is there for a Lord. Like if we look up lords right now, like Lord, whatever. When he come into the house, he got everything that he want. You understand what up? He's being treated like a real Lord. Like when our sisters understand that, the whole nation will grow. Because how you look at your man, if you don't respect your man and treat your man like a king, how do you think the other nation's going to treat him? You understand that? How you think they're going to, and who's the man representing? Who are we representing? We represent Christ, but I'm saying on the downstream. We representing our families. You understand? Like we're the figure. So like if you're on a basketball team or a football team or whatever, if the coach is if you're not supporting the coach, what's going to happen? Y'all going to lose. You understand that? You're going to be looking crazy. The score, what they do in high school? They run the clock. The clock be running. You understand that? So if you understand that this is the leader, I got to support him so that we can go further together. That's how you're going to go together. You're going to make sure that he has everything that he needs so that he can succeed. That's what the other nations do. They support their men. We got to get back to that. So the sisters got to learn that, and the brothers got to learn that. We got to learn to work together as a unit. That's part of being one flesh. Where we at right now?
Oh, so I have one more clip.
Yeah, go ahead.
To back up what you said earlier about how, women going to the workforce, that was purposely meant to break up the nucleus. And, of course, you have a lot of the other nations, they see this. But, let's show the example. This is from years ago. Years ago. This is on Fox News.
They would rather... The big picture here is women do earn less in America because they choose to. They would rather go to their daughter's piano recital than stay all night at work working on a proposal. What? So they end up earning less. They're less ambitious. And I think this is sort of God's way. This is nature's way of saying women should be at home with the kids. They're happier there. Women are happier at home. They are pretending that they like working, and they're not making money because they don't stay all night at the office. They don't go the extra mile. They don't work all weekend. You're making a mistake. You would be much happier at home with a husband and children. Oh, boy. Oh,
I mean, I'm literally
You just said you're single. You don't have...
This is absolutely disgusting. And Sean, you should actually speak up for the viewers today and let them know that your daughter should have a choice.
I think women do have a choice. Absolutely, of course.
It was a longer clip, but
oh yeah, she got cut. She got cut bad.
He was like, "You'll be happy. You'll come home, and the kids say, Daddy's home, Daddy's home," basically mocking her because she was talking about she wanted to work, but she's single, complaining about being single. Look, just humble down, be submissive, and get married, so you can be taken care of. That's it.
In other words, she's a cat lady. Yeah. All she got at the house is a cat. That's it, and that's not good because we're not created to be alone. Understand that, but a lot of our sisters fall for them traps, and even Esau. Some of the liberal Edomites falling for that. It's a cat lady. That's it. She'll be an old cat lady. She'll have like 30 cats in the house. When she get older, be by herself, won't have no kids. That'd be it. Just be a cat lady. I mean, somebody got to collect cats. You know? That's all I can say about that. So let's go to let's go to 1 Peter's. But order in the house is very important. So, and that's, when you look at the other nations, their houses in order. That means having the house clean. Because you got to think about it. If you got what you saying is a Lord, how should his house look when he come home? If you really believe he's a Lord, should it be clean? So how is a nigga's house? It's dirty, right? So how you're treated is how they think of you. You understand what I'm saying? Where they think you are. Because if they really look at you like a Lord, like when my Lord come home, I want to make sure everything is right and stuff like that. But if you're a nigga, it don't matter how it is when you come home. You understand? If that's how they viewing. Like, it could be stuff all over the place because you still a nigga. They don't look at you as a Lord. You got to think about it. If you on your job, their boss is a Lord there. Because if the boss say he likes something a certain way, he's not going to have to keep telling them every week or every day that this is how I like, this paperwork or whatever it is. I like it like that. He tell them one time, and guess what? They going to have it down pat. It's going to be down pat. He's not going to have to repeat himself over and over and say the same thing over and over again. He ain't going to have to do that. So it shows you that they have more love and respect for their boss than they do their husbands. You understand that? So we got to come out of that mindset. That goes back into we looking at the white man as the God or the leader, and we just look at our husbands. We don't look at them with the same respect. You understand that? Because the boss don't have to say stuff over and over again. He said it one time, and they're going to make sure that they got it the way he like it every time. They ain't going to have to be repeated over and over. Every time they come home, they got to say the same thing over and over again. When the boss come to work, he going to have whatever way he's supposed to have it. That's the way it's going to be. If the boss say you got to do something at a certain time, it's going to be done at that time. You understand that? So that's how we know. So let's go to 1 Peter 3. I want to read that real quick. Read down. Yeah, verse 1. Read down.
1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 1.
Close it out.
Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wives.
This is what Officer Michael brought out earlier. So through the conversation, if your husband is not righteous, through your conversations and your actions is how you win them over. Read.
While they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear.
So your chaste conversation coupled with fear means a modest and respectful. You're modest and respectful to your husband. Keep reading.
Whose adorning, let it not be that outward adorning of the plaiting the hair and of wearing of gold, or of putting on of apparel.
So you might be a really nice looking sister, but we can't put that above your actions. Just because you got a nice shape or you look great, pretty face or whatever, your inner beauty has got to outshine your outer beauty. Keep reading.
But let it be the hidden man of the heart, in that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit.
And a what?
A quiet spirit.
A quiet spirit. So let's get that next video. Video 7. Let's get that real quick. Let's get that.
If you come to the realization that the woman that you are trying to build with is incapable of being quiet and hearing you out, that, my friend, is a major red flag in building for the future. Because if somebody can't listen to you when you talk, that means you're nothing to them. If they can't stop for a second, because let me tell you something. At her job, when Mr. Feinstein is talking, they shut the fuck up. When Mr. Feinstein is talking, they be quiet, they listen to what he has to say, and on top of that, they do it. But when Mr. Wigington is talking, he's not able to finish a sentence without hisses. She can't be quiet when you're talking because she doesn't respect you. And if somebody doesn't respect you, if you try to build with them, you're gonna lose miserably.
Y'all see that? So if you don't have that respect, But like I said, they respect the white man. That's why we so successful with building the white man's empires, his businesses, his whatever he got. They get behind it 100%, build that. We got to focus on building our families and our nation. That's where we got to go. But it all starts with the men getting in order first, and then the sisters following. You understand? We got to be righteous leaders, and then the sisters got to follow behind. So go to Proverbs 9:13. I want to get that real quick.
Proverbs chapter 9, verse 13. A foolish woman is clamorous. She is simple and knoweth nothing.
You see that? So that's a simple woman. You understand that? But we got wise women. Let's go to, so we got to make sure that we are the wise woman. Go to Sirach 26, 14 and 15. Because a simple woman going to have her mouth wide open. You understand that? Read.
Sirach chapter 26, verse 14. A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord.
You see that? Read.
And there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed.
Keep reading.
A shamefaced and faithful woman is double grace, and her continent mind cannot be valued.
Her obedient mind cannot be valued. So you see that? So that right there is what brothers want. You understand that? We can build with that. A righteous brother and a righteous sister together on the same page can build. You understand that? Because it's about us working together to build this nation. Because if our woman is right there with us, we can get a lot more, we can be a lot more productive and get a lot more done. Just imagine you come in the house and you have a conversation that should be a simple, yes or no or whatever. Next thing you know, you 5-10 minutes arguing over something that should have just been a few seconds, right? So now, just imagine if you do that every day, 10 minutes a day, for 365 days a year. How much time is that? I'm saying, what's that? 10 minutes times 365. Somebody do the math on that. What's that? 3,000 something. Divide that by 60. What's that? How many? How many hours? So somebody do the math, because I want to see how many days that is. Or is it a day? 608 hours divided by 24. That's 25 days? God, dog. Just imagine how productive you could be if y'all on the same page. 25 days if you just going back and forth for 10 minutes. Is that right? Is that Jess's math over there? He learned under No Child Left Behind. Nah, I need some good math. It's 60 hours. That's still a lot, though. Because that's like, how many days? Like 3 days almost? 2.5 days. Just imagine what you could do with how productive you could be with 2.5 days. And that's just if you're going at it for 10 minutes a day. You understand that? So, yeah. That's crazy right there when you really start doing the math. But we got to be on the same page because we don't really realize how much time. And just imagine if your house ain't in order. How much time you wasting there? Looking for stuff, trying to find stuff, putting stuff away. So you start adding it up. What's our job? What are we trying to do? We're trying to get out of here. You understand that? We're trying to get out of here. So we gotta know what the goal is. When you're in the Greek fashions, they know what the goal is. Some kind of championship. Or if you're in business, it's some type of monetary amount or whatever. What's our goal here? To get the kingdom. So we got to work together to bring forth the kingdom, right? So I want to get the lower part. Let's get down to that. 1 Peter 3 and 6.
1 Peter chapter 3, verse 6. Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham.
She did what?
Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord.
You see that? Calling him lords.
Whose daughters ye are, as long as ye do well, and are not afraid with any amazement.
See that? So you're a daughter, Sarah, as long as you follow this example. You got that? So that's what we got to do. But brothers, we got to step up first. We got to get ourselves in order. We got to make sure that we're applying the commandments. And then the sisters will fall in line. A righteous sister's going to fall in line. And it's going to be for the betterment of everybody. Everybody's going to win. When we're all on the same page, we all win. when we are applying God's laws, because where's that? Believe. Let's get that. Because sisters say they believe, brothers say they believe, right? What's that? Sirach 32:24. Let's get that right there. So if we believe, we got to apply these scriptures as it applies to both of us.
Sirach chapter 32, verse 24. He that believeth in the Lord taketh heed to the commandment.
You see that? So he that believeth in the Lord, we're going to take heed to the commandments. We're going to understand that we got to do what God says for us to do. Let's go to, go back to 1 Peter 3, read 7 and 8. We're going to get ready to wrap it up. I just got a couple more scriptures.
1 Peter chapter 3, verse 7. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge.
So we got to dwell with our wives according to the law, read.
Giving honor unto the wife, as unto the weaker vessel.
We got to understand she's the weaker vessel. Keep reading.
And as being heirs together.
We are heirs together.
Of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered.
You see that? Because we don't want our prayers hindered. Understand that? Read.
Finally, be
Is that it? Or is there more? That's it? Okay, yeah, read that. Keep reading.
Verse 8, finally, be ye all of one mind.
You see that? Be ye all of one mind. Play these videos real quick. Video 8 and 9. I just want to show that real quick. Show you how the other nations get down. So this is the white woman. Read that. Go ahead and play that.
You know that saying, I like my men how I like my coffee, and they say black? Well, here's the thing. I love black coffee, okay? It's delicious. I think you really don't need to add all that shit to your coffee. That's why you're fat, number one. Number two, I like white men. Aryan men are beautiful. Blonde men with blue eyes, absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I want my kids to look like me. The chances of them having red hair, it could go
That's
either
enough.
way. I'm not
I
really
just
sure.
wanted to show that white women, they love their men. You understand that? They put their men up there. They honor their men. We got to do the same thing because they understand by pushing their men, they're attached to their men. So they're rising up with their men. Play the other video real quick. Yeah, get the other one, the last video.
A big difference between the snow bunny and the African queen is the snow bunny will find a black man in progress. She will find him on the job. She will find him on the university. And that snow bunny will see a black man with potential, and she will invest in him. She will help him level up. And then when the sisters see him 5 years ago, 5 years later, he's a millionaire, and the sisters say, look at that sellout. He went and got a white girl. But guess what? When he was looking for a sister to help him level up, to invest in him, none of them wanted it. You know why? Too many black women want a finished product. Black women have to, stay with me. Black women have to stop expecting men to be a finished product. It's harder on us. Help him level up. Stay with me. Help him level up and become what you need him to be. Because the big reason why these snow bunnies are running off with black men is they're meeting them when they have nothing, but they believe in their vision. And black women are waiting for him to cross the finish line. And by the time he crosses the finish line, the snow bunny done snatched him already.
So now, the reason why I played that video is just to show that the Edomite woman, they work with their men. They build the men up. Like us sisters, we got to learn to do that. Like brothers ain't going to be perfect. We got to do, try to do what we can to keep the commandments and grow. But the sisters also, you got to recognize that you as a helper, you got to help build these men up to make them the leaders. You understand that? That's the whole purpose of being a help me. Just like the video just showed, the Edomites, they'll see a brother with some potential. And they'll say, I can build with this brother. I can build a household and a family and stuff like that. And they work that way with their own. You see the white boys, they got all these wild hobbies. The women don't really be into that stuff, but they'll support them. They'll go get the NASCAR cap and make sure they got all the stuff in the cooler he like and his favorite beer and all of this. They'll even wear the shirt and all of that. And they might not even like NASCAR, but they only doing it because their husband like that. They want to support them. So the same way, we got to have that same spirit to where we see each other in a light where we want to build together. And the goal will be what? To get the kingdom. We got to work together as a team. Meaning the sisters got to learn how to be a helpmeet, and the brothers got to learn how to be leaders. You understand that? And we can only do that through the scriptures. Officer Michael, you had anything else you want to add or say to that? All right, so I'll just get this last scripture, and that's it. I want to get the Ephesians 31 through 5:31 through 33. That's it.
Ephesians chapter 5, verse 31. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall be joined unto his wife, and they two shall be one flesh.
You see that? So we're one flesh. When we get married, we're one flesh. So if we're working against each other, who are we working against? Ourselves. So we got to work together. Read.
This is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Christ and the church. Nevertheless, let every one of you in particular so love his wife, even as himself, and the wife see that she reverence her husband.
You see that? So that's it on that. So we got to love each other. We got to love our wives. You understand? Make sure that we do everything that we can for them, to take for them, provide, protect, and all of that. And the sisters, you got to reverence your husband. He got it hard out here. You see how we're viewed. Understand that. When he come home, he should feel like, he's coming home, and that's his kingdom there. He built him up to get him prepared for the next day to go out to battle. You understand that? So that he can earn for the family and do what he got to do for the family. Do better on his job or whatever it is. Even, work for the kingdom. The stuff that he got to do here. If he's arguing with you for 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, and he got to clean up because you got a mess all over the place and all of this stuff, that's taken away from his mission of bringing forth the kingdom. So we got to learn how to work together. But that's all I got, unless you got something, officer. All right. With that, we say shalom. Most High Christ bless.
Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you. It's nation time.
And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, His word,